Hey everybody, welcome to the first of a sort of new brand of my shows online, the Sunday Brunchstream. I'm just going to get right into a song here, folks. I hope I'm actually appearing to you live here, so if any of you want to throw something in the comment thread here to let me know that that you can actually hear me and see me here, that would be great. Anybody out there? I don't know. I did some test runs and apparently, there we go. It's working for sure. Thank you, folks. All right. You know, I missed you folks all week. Here's a Lonesome Bob song. I'm in the deep cloud of wonder, thick as the blood in my vein. It's a spell I've been under. You're running around in my brain like headlights through the mountains in the rain. All my senses playing tricks, making me think that you're here. I smell your body, taste your skin. I'll look out and you disappear. Speak your name and wonder if you can hear. Do you think about me? Do you think about me? When you're all alone, when you're miles from home, do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? In your daily schemes, in your private dreams, do you think about me? Now there are times when I'm just driving, smelling the sweet summer air, like a flash, a distant lightning. Well, faint as a wisp of your hair. Is it a memory, or are you calling from somewhere? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? When you're all alone, when you're miles from home, do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? In your daily schemes, in your private dreams, do you think about me? Well, there's so much more to life than we can touch and see. There's a lie, baby, in the middle of belief. Now I know that connection as well as I know my own name. But tonight, the only question is whether you're feeling the same. Well, I could call you and know for sure, but I kinda like riding on that mystery train. Do you think about me? Do you think about me? When you're all alone, when you're miles from home, do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? In your daily schemes, in your private dreams, do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? In your daily schemes, in your private dreams, do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me? When you're all alone, when you're far from home, do you think about me? Yeah. Hey, do you think about me? The great song that Lonesome Bob Chaney wrote and the Waco Brothers had probably more success with than about anything else that we recorded. Cheers, folks. Good to have you here with me. I hope you're having a great weekend thus far. So this new show is going to be a little bit different. It's going to kind of have segments and whatnot, different things that I'm going to do each week. And I think this is probably based on the fact that I'm already 6 minutes in, and I've got a whole lot that I've got planned here. It's probably going to take longer than the 30 minutes that I sort of plotted these shows to be out with. But hey, it's Sunday. We don't have that much going on. We can get through maybe 40, 45 minutes even. So as those of you who watch my morning show for all those months are aware, I have constant struggles with the technology here, and last night I was up till 1 o'clock trying to figure out how to get my DSLR camera to work, which kept freezing and freezing and freezing. So I couldn't get it to work. So what you're getting now is just the webcam on my new laptop. But thankfully it's a HD webcam, so it's a little better than it could be. Next week you can expect an even more pristine picture. I wanted to play a dollar store song that I played recently for a for a Zoom concert that I did, and I should try and plug this notion if you and a group of your friends want me to do a kind of private, like equivalent of a house concert via Zoom. I've done a couple of them now, and they work out really great. Won't cost you that much money, I'm basically looking for a couple $100. So if you got 20 friends who want to pitch in $10 a piece, or 10 friends who want to pitch in $20 a piece, or however you want to do the math, it doesn't take much to get me to do one of these things. I'm that desperate. But anyway, my friends out, Terry and Karen out near Reading, Pennsylvania, who've had me play a house concert there. This is one of Karen's favorite songs that I've written. It's a dollar store song called Dying Light, and I had so much fun playing it for them that I wanted to play it for y'all. And although it sounds kind of like a relationship song, what this really was written about was sort of imagining leaving a country that you loved but was dying. So, oh baby, you look gorgeous tonight in the dying light is really me singing about leaving home rather than leaving a specific person. Dying Light. Coming down, I'm coming down from Terminal 3. A guitar and a suitcase on the moving walkway. Going somewhere I thought I'd never see. A new life and a new identity. Oh, baby, you look gorgeous tonight. Oh, baby, in the dying light. Oh, baby, you look gorgeous tonight. Oh, baby, in the dying light. There's no life in this country There's just money and fear. There's no light or love that's keeping me here. I'm a different person than I was back home, down in the catacombs with the skull and bone. Oh, baby, you look gorgeous tonight. Oh, baby, in the dying light. Oh, baby, you look gorgeous tonight. Oh, baby, in the dying light. There you have it, Dying Light, Dollar Store, the greatest band that no one cared about at all. It's time for the next segment of my show, and this is the political commentary segment of the show. So the nice thing about having all these segments is that if there's one that you're not interested in, it gives you a chance to go to the bathroom. You know, you can get up, go to the bathroom, fix yourself another drink, maybe grab one of those pieces of bacon that's still laying on the stove. The political commentary, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to maintain this every week, but I'm referring to this segment as "Who the Hell Cares What Deano Thinks?" And I think that's a pretty appropriate title for this thing. And I'm going to set down my glass of wine here. I'm getting my notes up here. I'm not used to actually having to talk for this long a period of time on a particular subject without a script. So you'll forgive me if I'm actually reading things. I need to maybe find some sort of teleprompter app that I can use. Anyway, so who the hell cares what Deano thinks? Who the hell cares what Deano thinks about the United States Postal Service? Well, so Trump's doing everything he can to gum up the works at the USPS. And he's pretty much admitted in front of reporters that he's doing this to help his election chances. A side note to any conspiracy theorists that might be out there: you don't really need to invent crazy scenarios. The conspirators in our world do everything in plain sight and pretty much spell out everything that they're going to do. There's no secret action going on. So, you know, if you're one of these people, I always wonder, like, isn't President admits trying to rig the election enough for you? Do you really need to go off on some Hillary cuts baby's face off and gleefully wears it as a mask in a pizza parlor back room while Bill Gates injects you with microchip vaccine tangent? That is pretty entertaining, though, so I can see maybe why you want to go there. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm trying to imagine what Trump and his cabal think the end result of this is. Of course, I've read that greater voter turnout favors the Dems, so maybe they're trying to, reduce voter turnout, and that will result in a victory for him. But it's hardly guaranteed that preventing a percentage of mail-in votes from being counted during a pandemic will secure a victory for Trump. I mean, there's Republicans that want to vote by mail too. But no, I think we've established that, that our boy thrives on chaos. And somewhere beneath the veneer of uber confidence, he knows that he's losing this election. So more chaos is in order. So this is sort of the scenario I imagined him thinking of as he sat on his golden commode, eating his 4th Big Mac of the day. Due to the pandemic, record numbers of mail-in ballots are cast. As a result of his defunding and tampering with the USPS, there are major question marks about how, when, and whether certain votes are to be counted. Trump declares that there's been massive fraud since he's obviously been the greatest president ever, the logical move is for him to just stay in power. Disenfranchised Americans stage massive protests in the streets. Trump brings in his Homeland Security Border Patrol to baton and tear gas the radical left Biden supporters into submission. Let that sink in for a minute, radical left Biden supporters. But there are just too many of them. Even with the help of militarized local police, things are looking bad. But just in the nick of time, reinforcements arrive. Reinforcements in the form of 250,000 Sturgis Angels. These COVID-crazed Harley enthusiasts have teamed up with the NRA's well-regulated militias that we've heard so much about. The cavalry has arrived, guns ablazing, Smash Mouth's All-Star blasting from the stereos, yet ironically barely audible above the thump, thump, thump of the intentionally poorly running, poorly muffled engines. That's a Milwaukee boy dissing on Harley Davidson right there, but excuse me. Victory is secured as evil brown people, youth, school teachers, and Portlandia types get a taste of American lead. And Trump performs an awkward victory dance, the same awkward dance he did while on Epstein's Rape Island back in the day when America was great. I had to work on Labor Day. The irony is not lost on me. Kinda takes the joy out of getting drunk on Sundays. I eat too much, I drink too much, I talk too much, and I say too little. See, I got problems of my own, then the paper comes on Sundays. And the president is out of his goddamn mind. I passed out in the living room, woke up in 1963, when the greatest revolution were getting drunk on Sundays. Who'd have thunk, who'd have dreamt, civil rights still a current event. I don't want to worry about World War III when I'm drunk on Sundays. And the president is out of his goddamn mind. Don't I have the right to peace? Don't I have the right to quiet? But I can't ease a worried mind with the news shows every Sunday. Screaming the president is out of his goddamn mind. All right. Depending on your personal persuasion, my next segment might be the one when you choose to grab a piece of bacon or make yourself a drink or go to the bathroom. This is, I did a sort of podcasty kind of thing a while back that you can still find on my YouTube channel and in the videos. on the Ramblin Deano page on Facebook called the Honky Tonk Thrift Store. Ramblin Deano's Honky Tonk Thrift Store. Everything has to be Ramblin Deano's this, Ramblin Deano's that. Joe's getting really tired of me saying, I'm going to put on Ramblin Deano's pants now and go to Ramblin Deano's car and drive to Ramblin Deano's job. But branding, it's what I'm about. So anyway, what that podcast was just me playing a bunch of cool old country songs that I've found at thrift stores here in Milwaukee. So I decided to do a little segment where I play one of those on this show. And today we've got a Porter Wagoner tune. I'm not going to go on endlessly about this, but really probably the most mind-blowing thing that was the result of me picking this tune was I looked up the authors of this tune, the writers of this song, and one of them's a guy named Paul Gilly, who apparently sold a lot of songs to a lot of famous country artists, and who, it's pretty well established, actually wrote I'm So Lonesome I Could Die and Cold, Cold Heart, which are credited to Hank Williams. This is just kind of earth-shattering, mind-blowing news to a geek like me. But anyway, he wrote this song, and I'm gonna put the cover on the screen here. So this is the Porter Wagoner album that I bought at the thrift store for a couple bucks or something that this comes off of, and this song is called Me and Fred and Joe and Bill, and I hope you enjoy it. It goes something like this.
Some friends and I were sitting in a dim cafe last night when a couple came around that we recognized on sight. And when we got to talking, while the waiter brought the bill, we found she'd been in love with me and Fred and Joe and Bill. I told him that 3 months ago she promised me her heart. Bill said he knew she loved him too, she really played him smart. Fred thought he had the inside track, Joe guessed he loved her still. But someone took the place of me and Fred and Joe and Bill. She was dating was another friend of ours. We wondered just how much he'd spend on candy cake and flowers, but we knew we couldn't warn him that you had him for a kill, and soon you'd be alone with me and Fred and Joe and Bill. She must have had a lot of fun there in that dim cafe, for she'd played up to each of us, and now she had old Ray. And it was plain which way he'd go when she had had her fill. Old Ray would be right there with me and Fred and Joe and Bill. Poor old Ray.
And there you have it, Porter Wagoner. A pretty cute little number, I think. I haven't solved the technological riddle of actually being able to listen to the song as you listen to it without wearing headphones, which is not really the look I'm going for here. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. There's going to be a cool little honky-tonk nugget that I've discovered on every one of these shows. And it's time to move on to my next segment, which is the Ramblin' Wino. Maybe you need to take a bathroom break now because you don't care about wine. I don't know. but I do. And for those of you who don't know, I worked in the wine business for about 30 years until fairly recently, less than a year ago. And I thought a lot about like how I could have a little brief wine lesson in every one of these shows. And I would say that the answer that I came up with was just a simple one. Each week I'm gonna be drinking a different wine, and I'm going to try and mix it up and make it a wide variety of countries, regions, whatever. And I'll just talk about what I'm drinking rather than try and give you any kind of wine 101 or of any sort. So this is a bottle that I opened last night. Let me get it in front of the camera here. The Notre Dame de Palier Côte de Rhône. So Côte de Rhône is a really popular category of French wine, and with good reason. The wines are pretty appealing and work with a pretty wide variety of foods. So what is Côte de Rhône? So like all things French wine, or most things French wine, these wines are labeled and classified by where they're from rather than the grapes that they're made out of. And so the Rhône wine region is in southeastern France, and the Rhône River runs through it. So Côte de Rhône côtes are hills. So the hills of the Rhône is sort of what Côte de Rhône is. And the Rhône region produces about 90% red wine. So while there are interesting white wines produced there that we could talk about, really, for the most part, when you see Rhône wines, you're going to be seeing far more reds than whites. So what are the characteristics? What is it about? Well, I mean, this is pretty somewhat typical in that it's a blend of Grenache and Syrah primarily, with a little bit of a grape called Cinsault blended in with it. Another common blending partner is Mourvedre, but Grenache is the main deal in the southern Rhône Valley where this is from. And the wines that are produced tend to be really great values. This one is $8.99. You don't really see a lot of them quite that cheap anymore. But if you're looking for good value, medium-bodied reds that have pretty broad, kind of crowd appeal. Almost everybody likes these wines that go with a really wide variety of foods. These are really good choices. Steve Goulding, who played drums in the Waco Brothers for the first years of our existence, and he's not a wine business guy or anything like I am, but he told me he had a saying, "You can't go wrong with a Côte de Rhône," and I kind of agree with that. Even the major brands that you see on the shelves, the major producers, the three kind of big ones are Perrin and Chapoutier and Guigal. Even their large production wines are quite tasty and quite good quality. So if you like good red wines and you want to explore French wine, Côte de Rhône's a good place to start. There you have it, the Ramblin' Wino for this week. I guess my last segment for the Sunday Brunch show, one of the more popular things that I did on my morning show was George Jones Fridays. So I would be remiss if I did not include a George Jones song in every week's show. So this segment is called What Would George Sing? And I'm going to bring up some lyrics here, even though I've heard this song a 1,000 times. I'll still manage to forget them if I don't have the lyrics. So we could take an online poll of my George Jones fans on this thread, but I think it's entirely likely that this may be the greatest single George Jones recording ever. That's saying something. He recorded some great songs, but I think this is one of the greatest and one of his greatest vocal performances, which I will attempt to do some justice to. Up above me are the skies, like the twinkle in your eyes. These things are the color of the blues. In the mail your letter came. The ink and paper look the same. Yeah, blue must be the color of the blues. Bluebird sitting in the tree seems to sympathize with me, for he's not singing like he used to do. Pretty waters in the sea feel as cold as you left me. Yes, blue must be the color of the blue. There's a rainbow overhead with more blue than gold and red. Blue must be the color angels choose. A blue dress you proudly wore when you left to return no more. Yeah, blue must be the color of the blue. Blue days come and blue days go. How I feel nobody knows. Life is mighty empty without you. There's a blue note in each song that I sing since you are gone. Yes, blue must be the color of the blue. Color of the Blues, one of the greatest songs George ever recorded. You know, that was supposed to be the end of the show, but I kind of feel like playing one more song, so I'm going to play one of mine. This is one that back when I was doing live shows, I haven't recorded this yet, but back when I was doing live shows, this one went over really well, and I'm looking forward to recording this probably with my enablers, or maybe with my buddy Paul Birch down in Nashville. Sometime when things get normal. This is about somebody everybody knows. It's called My Evil Twin. My evil twin has been seen at the tavern making poor decisions, setting bridges on fire. My evil twin says out loud what I only think, never turns down another drink, making memories to forget. He's a good-for-nothing ne'er-do-well. Is it him? Is it me? No one can tell. Each morning I wake up full of fear as I wonder who's had the latest run-in with my evil twin. when he's home and sober. God bless his heart. No one can tell us two apart. Each morning I wonder what he got into last night. Picked the wrong bed, the wrong fight. My evil twin. When will I finally be done in? But my evil twin. Hey, thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday brunch. You know, it occurred to me recently as I have watched my income from these live streams somewhat dwindle. No thanks to most of you loyal folks who are here. But that one of the things I don't do anymore is ask for money. You know, I put this thing on the screen here, but I don't say, hey, you know what? I'm actually missing about a third of my income because I'm not playing gigs anymore. So if you're feeling like throwing a few shekels in my tip jar, it is greatly appreciated. And thank you so much for joining me here. I'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. As I always said on my morning show, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home if you can, and stay sane. And I love you all, and I'm going to see you right back here next week. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.